Hello, this is Everton fan 77, and as I said yesterday, I am doing a Q&A video, and I basically uploaded the video yesterday, and I've got some awesome questions which I'm really looking forward to answering. But before this video starts, I'd just like to apologize for a few things in advance. Probably as you can hear, there may be a bit of background noise basically picking up. I'm really sorry for that. Also, there may be some black bars on the video as well, which I really hate on the video, but this is the best, honestly the best camera I've got. I don't use those professional cameras or recording devices or anything. My webcam's broken at the moment, so this is all I have at the moment. So yeah, I'm really sorry for that as well. So there probably will be some black bars on this video. And also one other thing is, I tend to look away from the camera quite often. I don't know, I just have really bad focus when looking at a camera, and yeah, so if I do that throughout today's video, I'm just gonna say sorry in advance because really, I just have a problem with doing that. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't matter too much and we can really enjoy today's video, and let's get to it. How did you get the name Everton fan 77? And do you play real life football? And if so, where do you play and what's your game style? So that's actually a great question, a great two-part question, and a lovely name as well. Eusebio Maradona, two legends of the game there. Well, I hope that's what you intended it for. It might be your actual name. If it is, I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty sure you're basing it off the two legends, Eusebio and Diego Maradona. But getting on to the question, a great two-part question. Now, answering the first section of this, why is my name Everton fan 77? As you can probably tell by my username, by this, and in a fair few chunk of my videos, I mention how much of an Everton fan I am. Even though I live halfway across the planet, I'm a massive fan of Everton. Basically, they're my team, and I'll follow them to the day I die. I'll get into more detail as to why I go for Everton later on, because that is a question in itself. But I'm a massive Everton fan, and also when I go to play real life football, I wear the number 77 on my back. When I went to get my number originally, David Beckham was number 7 for England at the time. I think he was 23 for Real Madrid, but still I went off his England kind of kit number, and I wanted to replicate him or emulate him. I went for number 7. 7 was taken, so I'm like, you know what, I'll go with 77, and I've stuck with it ever since, and that's how I've got my username, Everton fan 77. So I hope that cleared that up. Now moving on to the second part of the question, do I play real life football? Yes, I do. I could not live without playing real life football. Just on the weekends, it brightens my day up so much. Like, that is what I look forward to throughout the week. I'm like, yes, football this weekend, I can't wait to play. I play just in a local team with my friends, so nothing too competitive there. Although we do take it seriously, but I'm not like Barcelona Youth Academy player by any means. But moving on, so where do I play? I play in striker for my club, but when I play in a knockout competition, I often play centre back or even on the wing. Now, I'm not too sure why I play on the wing because I don't have much pace. I'm not slow, but I don't have much pace, and I'm 6'2", so I'm not the most nimble player. But my game style, as I just mentioned then, I am 6'2", so when I'm used in striker, I'm used as a target man. Mainly crosses and corners, they look for me. In most cases, I'm the tallest player on the field. Sometimes not, but basically, they look for me, and I kind of use my aerial abilities, my height, to help get headers into the back of the net, and they use that as a threat and an attack in our games. But my weaknesses would probably have to be not so much anything to do with the skill, but my mentality is quite often wrong. I'm very selfish when I play sometimes. Sometimes I shoot when I really shouldn't be shooting, and I should be looking for somebody else to pass to. And sometimes I beat 1 or 2 players and I get carried away and continue going where I really should look up for a pass. So I hope that cleared a bit about why my name is Everton fan 77 and how I play real life football. So yeah, moving on to the next question. What's your La Liga team, League 1 team, Serie A team and Bundesliga team? Also, who would be in your all-time and current World 11? Yeah, a pretty good question there, although it is very hard to answer. Now, I tried to answer this before, but unfortunately my video carried out way too long. So I'm going to try and make this really brief. Also, we have light if you haven't seen. I had to turn the lights on because it's starting to get dark, and I really didn't think this one through. So anyway, moving on to the teams I support in various leagues. Now, I'm not a huge, I do follow other leagues, but I don't have a club specifically in other leagues. So really, Everton and Watford are my only teams I actually follow and support. But there's still teams I like, and I'll start talking about that now. In La Liga, really, I would like to say a team outside of the big 2, but really that's pretty, La Liga is only viewed for the big 2. So I've had to choose out of the 2 teams in El Clasico. I have to go for Real Madrid, purely because I just hate how everyone sucks up to Barcelona. I think they're an overrated team. Yes, they have great passing play, but I think they actually are quite overrated. And then there's players inside that team which I don't like Sergio Busquets. And also, I do think Ronaldo is the best player in the world. I won't get into detail on that controversial topic, but then there's also players like Kaká, Ozil, Varane, and Casillas, who I love at Real Madrid as well. So, and Xabi Alonso. So Real Madrid would have to have the edge for me. Although I did like Barcelona back in the day, when they had Samuel Eto'o, Ronaldinho, Deco, and all those great players. But moving on to the next team, purely, I have no idea why I chose them, but Hamburg from the Bundesliga. Yep, I don't know why I chose them. I do like Leverkusen and Dortmund, but really, I prefer not to choose a big team in the league to follow, and I'd have to go for Hamburg. Don't ask why. Now moving on to League One, another very random selection. I'd have to go for Bordeaux because Zinedine Zidane played for them, and they were instrumental in helping him helping him grow as a player. And yeah, so that Zinedine Zidane won Bordeaux for me. That made no sense whatsoever, but I choose Bordeaux because of Zinedine Zidane. That's what I was looking for. Now moving on to the Serie A team, Napoli, purely because they're a great team. I love to follow them, but basically they've come through really strong. There's the big three: Juventus, AC Milan, and Inter Milan. And then there was the Juventus scandal, and then Inter Milan started to dominate Serie A. But now it's come more into balance now, and it's looking really interesting for Serie A. And Napoli, for me, they're the first team pretty much besides the teams like Roma, to really break down that big three. And yeah, it's looking good for them. And yeah, I'm looking forward to how basically what's in the future for Napoli. It didn't really weather very well, but with Benitez as their manager, I'll be looking forward to how Napoli play soon, and hopefully they can keep hold of Cavani, and it will be good for them. Now moving on to the World 11s, I tried going into detail last time, but the video dragged out for way too long, so I'm just going to run through the names. Unfortunately, I'd like to drag it out, but unfortunately that would just make a massive video, and I don't really want a huge, massive long video. I'm dragging it out as it is. Moving on to the all-time World 11. Now, it is a 4-4-2 formation. Goalkeeper, we have Gordon Banks. Right back, Cafu. Also, I'm looking down, because I have them written down, because I wouldn't be able to remember them off the top of my head. So I have them written down there. So if you see me looking down to the corner, that is why. So we have Gordon Banks, goalkeeper. Cafu, right back. Maldini and Beckenbauer in centre back. Roberto Carlos, left back. Johan Cruyff, I know he never played at right midfielder, but that's there's nowhere else to slot him in, so that's where, and I really want to put him in the team, so that's where Cruyff is going at right mid. Zidane and Maradona in the centre, George Best on the left-hand side, and then we have Eusebio and Pele up front. Now moving on to the current World 11, I would have Iker Casillas in goalkeeper, playing a 4-3-3 as well, so Iker Casillas in goalkeeper, Lahm, Company, Puyol and Baines at the back. Then moving on, we have Yaya Toure, Mesut Ozil, and Andres Iniesta in the centre. Then moving on, up our front three, we'd have Messi, Ibrahimovic, and Cristiano Ronaldo. So those are my teams. I hope I didn't drag it out for too long, and you probably heard me speaking really fast as well, but those are my teams, and moving on to the next question. Favourite player from the A-League, and favourite team from Australia? So favourite player from the A-League, besides Lord Heskey and Alessandro Del Piero, who are two fantastic players, and basically two players I look up to heaps, or Lord Heskey to an extent. But my favourite player would probably have to be Bernie Abini Asai. Now, if you don't know who that is, he is a player for the Central Coast Mariners. He can operate in the wing or as a striker, very fast and quite tall as well. So he's a great player, and I think he's a promising prospect for Australia, and hopefully he can break into the Australian first team squad soon enough. Now, moving on to the second question, favourite team from the A-League would have to be Sydney FC, because it's the localist team I have. It is about a 40-minute drive to get to the stadium, or maybe not 40 minutes, about 30 minutes, a half an hour drive to get to the stadium. But in Australia, that's actually pretty close because we're a huge country. It's like, as far as the land space goes, it's a massive country, and we only have I think it's 12? I don't think it's 12 teams in the league. So, yeah, a 30-minute drive isn't that bad compared to some other places in Australia. So, yeah, those are the two players. That's my favourite player and my favourite team in the A-League. So, moving on to the next question. What made you support Everton? The answer to this question may seem a bit ridiculous, but it was because I was a lot younger and very easily influenced. So first of all, I'd like to say I followed the Premier League for as long as I can remember. I can't remember living without the Premier League. And I used to like teams like Newcastle and Arsenal because of Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer. But I actually didn't start following a team until about 2003, I think it was. Now, I used to live in England for a good few years, so I'm a massive England supporter on the national stage. I was watching a European qualifier, Macedonia versus England. Now, Wayne Rooney played very well, got himself, I think it was either 1 or 2 goals, but he played very well that game. And then I kind of wanted to learn more about him, so I started watching the Everton games, and yeah, I looked up to Rooney heaps back then, and I really just started watching the Everton games. Then I kind of grew to Everton, and that's kind of how I got there. And yeah, ever since then I've been a massive Everton fan, although there was a short period of time where I was actually a Manchester United supporter, because I had changed from Everton to Manchester United, as Rooney did, because at the time Rooney was my only reason to support Everton. But then I kind of started to dislike Rooney a bit because of his off-field antics. And yeah, I kind of came back to Everton, especially when Tim Cahill was there. He was a massive influence in bringing me back to Everton. So I kind of like turned to the dark side, went to Manchester United, because now I view that as a massive glory hunter club. A few of you may be Manchester United fans. This may hurt you, but unless you like have a good reason to support them, you're kind of glory hunting by going for them. But everyone has their own opinions, and everyone's allowed to support their own team. So I have nothing against Man United fans anyway. I just don't like the reason why they chose them. But yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up at Everton. Like Anakin Skywalker, going to the dark side, then coming back to Everton. And yeah, Star Wars reference there, not really relevant, but yeah, that's why I support Everton. And yeah, moving on to the next question. Who is the most famous person you've met? Now this question is actually from a very close mate of mine. He's a great YouTuber, check him out, Jared HD, fantastic FIFA commentator, definitely go check him out, you won't regret checking out his channel. But Jared, I think he wants me to answer this question because he was there with me when I met him. Now, I think it was October last year, Sydney FC versus Newcastle United. The game finishes 3-2, the scoreline was. Heskey's going around basically just clapping not clapping himself, but clapping the fans, where they kind of go like that to the fans. And he's about to walk off the field. Now, a group of 6 or so, I think it was, we were a group of 6, standing in the corner, singing, Heskey, Heskey. And then, being an awesome bloke he is, he just comes over to us. And then, unfortunately, all these other people ran in front and kind of stopped us from meeting him properly. However, we did like jump over to get onto the fence to give him a high five and stuff. It made our day, and like we did not stop talking about it for a week because we were massive Heskey fans. Because that was like KSI's prime days back then. Although he is still a great YouTuber, it was big Heskey time back then. And we were so thrilled to touch Lord Heskey. Now, another famous person I've met is probably one most of you wouldn't have heard of, probably because you don't live in Australia. Although a few English people may have heard of him, or people who live in places like India. He's a cricket player, Glenn McGrath, perhaps one of the best fast bowlers to have ever played the game. I've met him on a few occasions as well. I've played cricket against his son, and I've also just met him at cricket matches as well, and I've actually been there and had a conversation with him. So yeah, those are the 2 most famous people I've met, and also leave a comment with the most famous people you've met. And moving on to the final question. Who is your favourite footballer from the BPL? So this is the last question. It kind of caps off a bit of a crazy ride. This has been a bit of a weird Q&A today, but yeah, it's my first Q&A, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been lots of fun making it. But we still have one more question left, and it is, who is your favourite player from the BPL? Now, that question is it's very hard to narrow it down to one. I can give you my 3 favourite players from the BPL, so yeah, I'll talk about them. And then, yeah, we'll have to cap it off there, because otherwise it'd be like a huge 15, oh, it probably is already 15, probably go on to be like a 25-minute video. So, my 3 favourite players in the EPL, number 1, as surprising as it may seem, Steven Gerrard. Although I'm an Everton fan and he's a Liverpool player, I have all respect for him. He's just a fantastic player, of course, the sniper, a beast long shot taker, fights so hard for every ball, brilliant, a complete midfielder. And the thing as well about him is he stayed very loyal to Liverpool. Loyalty is something I respect in players, and Steven Gerrard's just done that for Liverpool. He's been offered the chance to leave them to achieve some league success, and he's rejected it. Although he probably will never win the Premier League with Liverpool, he's been a great player for them over the years and has stayed very loyal, and will go down, especially when he already is, but when he retires, he will especially go down as a legend of not only the game, but of Liverpool FC. Now moving on to my second out of the 3 players I like in the EPL, we have Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea FC. He might seem a bit weird, he's not one of the world stars. He is an up-and-coming player, but he's not quite a world star yet. Romelu Lukaku for me is a fantastic player. He's just ultimate power, speed, strength, clinical finishing as well. He's an absolute beast. I love him, and particularly because back in the day, I was such a fan of Didier Drogba. To see Romelu Lukaku with a similar sort of game style as Drogba come into the Chelsea FC, and it's looking like he will be his successor one day. It's been great to see that someone is capable of taking Drogba's place. Lukaku has showed it for West Brom this season, and I think he will do a fantastic job when Mourinho looks to play him regularly at Chelsea FC. So Lukaku is there. He's also the name of my club, Lukaku FC, an ultimate team. And yeah, now moving on to the third and final player from my favourite EPL players. It is Leighton Baines. You have to include a player from your own club. And Leighton Baines, I hope he doesn't go to Man U, but he represents us so well. Such a good left back, very composed player as well. Just keeps his head down, very underrated, and works really hard. Gets assists, gets goals, and he's a fantastic player. And one of the most underrated free kick takers as well. So Leighton Baines is an absolute beast, and I love him to bits. And I really hope he doesn't join Man U. But if it does, he's definitely deserving of starting at such a prestigious club like Manchester United. So this has been today's Q&A. I hope you liked this Q&A video. As I said before, it has been quite crazy, but it's been fun to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see if I'll do more of these later on. I will just see what the response gets in this video, and say if I hit the next milestone, I might do this again. So yeah, if you like this episode, please leave a like, and I'll be hopefully there with some more FIFA gameplay in the next few days. See ya.